Welcome back. I help faith-driven women break cycles, find clarity, and step boldly into their calling. If that's what you've been searching for, you're in the right place. Let's get into today.
Good day, good day, good day. I want to welcome you to today's video. Listen, I want to hit this real quick because I know that we are all retiring for the evening, but I want to talk about boundaries that actually stick. Setting boundaries is easy, but keeping them is the hard part. You can say, well, I'm not doing this anymore. But a few days later, you're right back in the same situation, overworked, overwhelmed, and resentful. Boundaries don't fail because you're weak, they fail because you built them without a system. Most women of faith know how to set boundaries, but not how to sustain them. You say yes or you say no once, just one time. And then what happens? The guilt hits. You begin to explain yourself, you feel bad, and eventually you just give in. And before you know it, your boundaries are gone and you're running on fumes again. So here's the truth: the truth is, boundaries fall apart because they're emotional, not structural. You set them in a moment of burnout, but you never built the rhythm to keep them strong when pressure comes. Let's get into our three DDB life keys, starting with discern. Why your boundaries keep breaking. The root issue is you're trying to set boundaries from exhaustion and not alignment. You wait until you're overwhelmed and then you build from frustration instead of clarity. The brain, it associates old behaviors like saying yes. It makes that feel like it's safety. So even when you know better, your default, to you it just feels what's familiar. That's where you're going to default to what's familiar. But God calls you to steward your energy and not sacrifice your peace. Jesus withdrew from the crowds regularly to protect his assignment. So ask yourself, am I setting this boundary from fear of burnout or from faith in alignment? Because fear builds walls, but faith, it builds order. Now, the second DDB life key is dismantle. This is where we expose the lies that make our boundaries crumble. So, I have some lies that we're going to go through. There's four of them. The first one is, if I say no, I'm being unkind. Well, the truth of the matter is, kindness without boundaries becomes resentment. Mhm. True love indicates limits. Let me say that again. True love, it indicates and it includes your limits. That's what true love is. The lie number two is, well, God expects me to always be available. Well, the truth of the matter is, even Jesus didn't answer every demand. Obedience means knowing what's yours and what's not. Lie number three is, I have to explain myself to everyone. No, you don't. Because the truth of the matter is, you owe people clarity, not justification. Because your boundaries are about stewardship, not permission. I'm not asking for your permission to set this boundary, right? Lie number four is, well, I'll lose people if I enforce my boundaries. Well, you won't lose the right people, you'll lose the draining ones. And boundaries reveal who's meant to stay. So, the practical dismantle exercise is to write down three hardest boundaries for you to hold. And next to each one, I want you to list the lie that weakens it. And then I want you to write the truth that keeps it firm. Now, let's get into our third DDB life key, which is build. Structure boundaries that last. There's a couple steps that I'm going to give you. 5 steps. Step number 1 is to systemize your no. What does that mean? Pre-plan responses for common requests. For example, if I don't have the capacity for that right now, that's probably have become one that I use regularly. I just don't have the capacity for that right now, but thank you for asking. Mhm. No more emotionally scrambling to find the right words to say. Step number 2 is to protect boundary zones. That means to create specific times of rest, work, and relationships. Put them in your calendar just like appointments. Mm. Step number 3 is to automate reminders. Use your alarms on your phone. Use your planners to remind yourself when to disconnect. Boundaries fade when you forget to enforce them. Step number 4 is to rehearse reinforcement. You've got to practice saying no in low pressure settings so that it feels natural under stress. And then step number 5 is accountability. Tell a trusted friend your boundaries and ask them to check in with you weekly, because what happens is consistency, it builds confidence. Now, the spiritual truth is boundaries are not barriers to ministry. They're the structures that protect your mission. So you don't need stronger willpower, you need stronger systems. And boundaries don't break when they're built on rhythm. Now, as I always turn in, been sharing my AI hacks with you all. Here's an easy way that you can use it. You can ask it to help you to script 5 polite boundary responses that you can use when you feel under pressure. For example, you can say, "Hey, Chatty, write 5 respectful ways to say no that protect my peace." Because having pre-written responses, it removes the emotion and it actually helps you to stand firm. Now, this is how you make boundaries stick. You discern where they keep breaking, you dismantle the lies that weaken them, and you build structural rhythms that make boundaries a lifestyle. Listen, boundaries are a lifestyle, not an emergency fix. But to make it sustainable, you need community and a system that keep you aligned. Don't keep resetting boundaries that fall apart. I want you to register for the October 21st Masterclass. Why boundaries don't stick, because there is a reason why your boundaries are not sticking. This is a free event, and I'm going to be sharing some tips, walking you through some processes so that you will be able to identify the missing structures in your life that is preventing you really from moving forward and keeping you in that place where you are stuck. That's what we're going to be doing. So listen, the link is going to be in the description. And I really hope to see you. I want to say thank you to those that have already registered, that have already secured their seat. You don't want to miss out on this time of transformation. So I pray that this was a blessing to you. I know that it was late, but you know what? I'm staying committed to what I said that I was going to do. So thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to being back with you on tomorrow. Blessings.
If today's message spoke to you, don't stay stuck another year. Book a call with me today. The link is in the description. And before you go, keep watching by clicking the next video on your screen. I'll see you there.